What's the weirdest thing you've been caught buying? I was buying whipped cream, rope, candles, and a cucumber. An old lady behind me raised one eyebrow and said, "You know Jesus sees you, right?" I switched lanes, still bought the cucumber.
What is something funny you say to scammers instead of hanging up? 1. I say, "Hello? Oh hey, can you hold on? Someone's at the door." Then I put the phone down and see how long they stay on. My record is 17 minutes. 2. I never did this, but a while ago I was hanging out with this person when they got called by a scammer. He gave the scammer this weird foreign name. After spelling the name, my friend asked the scammer to spell it back to be sure he got it right. Every time he spelled it, my friend said he forgot to add a letter at the end. After 5 minutes, we heard the scammer mutter, "F this." 3. I once had a scammer say he was from Microsoft support, telling me that my computer had a virus. I told him that I loved my viruses and was happy they were in my computer. The guy said, "Go have fun with your virus." 4. My wife cracks up every time. I use the nicest, most polite voice I can and say, "Thank you so much for calling. Hey, can you hang on 1 second while I hang up on you?" 5. I have full conversations with them. I dragged one on so long he was trying to mirror my computer. When he told me to type in the site, he asked what I saw on the page, and I said, "Your mom."
When did a joke go way too far? Our office had this thing called Fancy Friday, where everyone would dress up nice once a month. My coworker Mike never participated, always wearing the same old t-shirt and jeans. So our team decided to prank him. We photoshopped a fake memo from HR saying Fancy Friday was now mandatory, with a $50 fine for anyone not participating. We even added a line about how the CEO was personally monitoring compliance. Mike panicked. He lived paycheck to paycheck and couldn't afford fines. That night, he went to a thrift store and spent his entire grocery budget on used suits. He even posted on Facebook asking to borrow dress shoes. The next morning, Mike showed up looking uncomfortable in an ill-fitting suit. Before we could tell him it was a joke, our actual CEO walked in for a surprise visit. She loved seeing everyone dressed up and asked who started the tradition. Mike, still thinking it was mandatory, pointed at me. She was so impressed, she made Fancy Friday company-wide policy with a monthly bonus for the best-dressed employee. Mike won the first bonus. He bought himself a proper suit and donated his thrift store ones to a job seekers program. Now he runs our office clothing drive. The memos still hanging in HR marked Best Policy Suggestion of 2024.
Would you listen if a kid told you to run? Last summer, I was walking my dog in the park when a boy, maybe 10 years old, stopped me. He looked scared and gave me a walkie-talkie. "Take this," he said, "and run." I was confused. "What?" I asked, laughing a little. "Just run," he said, then ran into the trees. Before I could react, the walkie-talkie made a sound. A deep voice said, "Go to the big tree, now." I don't know why, but I listened. I ran. My dog ran with me, happy like it was a game. But I was not happy, I was scared. The voice gave me directions. I followed them. At the big tree, I found a small metal box. The voice said, "Take it. Leave the walkie, go home. Don't look back." Inside the box was a key and a photo of the boy. I never saw him again.
The doctors lied about my brother's condition after he went into a coma. They declared him brain dead even though he wasn't. They kept visiting him every hour, pressuring us to let him go. Knowing he was a registered organ donor, we tried to transfer him, but they refused. Eventually, we agreed to take him off life support. After his death, we learned he wasn't brain dead and had a chance to live. They rushed everything for his organs. We won the lawsuit, but it didn't bring him back. What's something your parents did that backfired to them horribly? I was 15 when my mom forced me to get a job. She said she will kick me out when I turn 18, like what grandma did to her. I worked, believing that by the time I turned 18, I would have enough money saved up. But then I found out I had almost nothing. My mom had been taking half of my earnings to help pay the rent and for the food I ate at home. On my 18th birthday, I came home to find all my belongings stuffed in black trash bags, left outside in the rain. I wasn't just mad that she kicked me out, but the fact she sold my 5-year-old dog on Craigslist too. I ended up living in shelters for months until my best friend's mother took me in. She took care of me until I graduated college. I eventually moved to a big city and worked my way up. At 28, I learned that my 55-year-old mother was now living in her car. After not seeing me for 10 years, she expected me to take her in. I told her she could find a job, reminding her she wasn't that old. She drained my late dad's life insurance money and didn't want to work. Told her to leave, then she threatened to burn my house down. Just told her she will rot in jail if she does that. She left. I felt nothing. Not a single guilt or sadness. Maybe that's how she felt with me 10 years ago. Seeing her that way was enough revenge for me. She got what she deserved.
I missed 2 family dinners and my parents texted, "We cleared out your room. You clearly don't care about us. Be grateful we didn't burn your crap." Then Dad added, "Your cousin's moving in. You'll pay his first month's rent, $1950 due tonight." I said, "That's insane." Mom replied, "Then don't bother coming home. You're no longer family." So I didn't, but I left something on their porch that night. See, what my parents forgot is that when their business tanked 3 years ago, I co-signed everything to save the house. The mortgage, the car loans, even their credit cards, all in my name because their credit was destroyed. They treated me like a backup ATM whenever they needed money. But suddenly I'm not family when I miss dinner twice. Let me paint you the full picture. I'm 24, work 2 jobs and still live at home because housing prices are insane. Every month, I hand over $800 for household expenses, which basically means I'm paying half their mortgage while they treat me like a teenager. My cousin Zach, he's 26, hasn't held a job longer than 3 months, and has been finding himself for the past 5 years. But somehow he's the golden child because he sweet talks my aunt, who's my mom's favorite sister. The missed dinners weren't even my fault. I work at a tech startup that's constantly in crisis mode, and last week we had 2 major client emergencies. I texted my mom both times explaining I'd be late, but apparently that wasn't good enough. When I got those texts Wednesday night, I was at my friend Jordan's place. He read them over my shoulder and just said, "Dude, they're bluffing. No way they actually cleared your room." But when I drove by Thursday morning, I saw boxes on the curb. My Xbox, my desk, clothes, and garbage bags. They weren't bluffing. I sat in my car for 10 minutes just staring at my life scattered on the sidewalk. Neighbors were walking by, probably wondering what kind of family drama they were witnessing. It was humiliating. 2 days later, I called the bank. Turns out when you're the primary on someone's mortgage and they breach the co-signer agreement by kicking you out, you have options. The loan officer, Catherine, was actually really helpful. She explained that since I was listed as residing at the property when I signed, being forced to leave constituted a material change in the agreement. I requested all loan documents be sent to my new address at Jordan's place. Then I called their insurance company, also in my name, and updated my contact information as the primary policyholder. Next, I called the credit card companies. 3 cards, all with my name as primary. My parents as authorized users. I requested all statements be redirected and put freezes on any new charges over $200. The envelope I left on their porch, it contained copies of every document with my signature, highlighted in yellow, and a note. "Since I'm not family, I'm removing myself from all family financial obligations. You have 30 days. Friday morning, my phone started blowing up. First my mom, then my dad, then my aunt. I let them all go to voicemail. My mom's message was 8 minutes of crying and guilt tripping. My dad's was 2 minutes of anger, then panic when he realized what the papers meant. My aunt tried playing mediator, saying, "Family doesn't hurt family like this." I called her back and said, "You're right. Family doesn't kick each other out and demand rent money for freeloading cousins." The best part? My mom called yesterday, crying. Apparently, my golden child cousin lasted exactly 1 week before bailing without paying rent. He left Tuesday night while they were asleep, took some of their electronics, including dad's laptop, and hasn't answered his phone since. Now they're facing their first mortgage payment. Without my $800 contribution, their homeowner's insurance is about to lapse, and they just realized their credit cards are frozen. My dad actually drove to my work yesterday, waited in the parking lot for 2 hours just to corner me. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, hair messy, still wearing the same wrinkled shirt from earlier in the week. "Son, we made a terrible mistake. We were stressed about money and took it out on you. Can we please talk about this like adults?" I told him I was too busy with work obligations, had to stay late for another client emergency. Maybe we could schedule something for next week if I could fit it in. The irony? Now they desperately need me to stay on the loan or lose the house they've lived in for 15 years. I told them my consultation fee is $1,950 up front, non-negotiable, cash only.
My stepson thinks he's entitled to my money. I married my wife years ago and became the everyday grown-up in Teen's life. Teen came from my wife's past with Biodad, who hurt her by cheating. I tried hard at first to be close to Teen, too hard, honestly, and pushed him away, so I backed off. Over time, we settled into a careful truce, polite, distant, not warm. My wife and I later had the 3 littles together. Teen doesn't pick on them, but he doesn't play with them either. He mostly acts like their heir, which makes the older 2 slip away when he's around. Money-wise, my wife and I made a plan long ago. I would save most of college money for the 3 littles. She would save for Teen by herself, so he wouldn't end up with nothing if Biodad didn't help. It felt fair because everyone was covered. Last week, my wife showed Teen what she had saved for him. He smiled at first. Then he went to Biodad's for the weekend, came back and asked what the littles had. When he heard their total was bigger, he exploded. He said I was fake family, that I never cared, that I was heartless. My wife suggested taking some from the littles' youngest fund now and paying it back slowly. She told me it was my call. I keep thinking about how Teen worships Biodad even after what happened to Mom. How he refused family therapy because I'm not his family yet. Now he calls me family when he wants money.